Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ignite with Sandy on the Celestia platform. And I hope you remember what Ignite with Sandy is. It's this wonderful webinar that I do every week. And I come across all these lovely, inspirational women. And I convince them to come on my show and talk about their careers, their life, their challenges, their success. And the whole purpose of that is to listen, to learn, and to ignite those neurons in your brain so that you also can become this powerful, wonderful individual who is happy with life, life, who's enjoying success, not only in career, but in family, in relationships, in health and wellness, because that's what Celestia is all about. And today's guest, believe it or not, is from health and wellness. Yes, she is very keen and she's done a lot of research, a lot of certifications, everything to do with the health industry. She's very much focused on that. And she has gone through a lot in the terms of bringing herself up to speed. She's always relevant in her field. And she is going from one stage to the other, just higher and higher, with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of energy. And today she is here with us to share her journey and to inspire us to do more with our lives. So, as you know, I never ever give away the name of my guest. I always get them to introduce themselves. And so I'm going to bring on this charming lady who's be joining me. And there she is. So, my dear, welcome to Ignite with Sandy. And please introduce yourself and tell us very briefly what you do.
Thank you, Sandy. That's a lovely introduction, and I really loved it. So here I am, Devi Nair. I've been in the healthcare industry for the last 23 years, and my bachelor's was science, and more important, my master's was actually post graduation in healthcare management. From there, started my career as a very trainee level, moving into hospitals, operations. Going forward, the consulting bug literally bit me. And that's when I realized the healthcare industry is not just hospitals and clinics and so on. It's a wide portfolio out there that you can explore in terms of health systems, policies, and more importantly, kind of 10, 15 years back, wellness came into picture in addition to healthcare. So I forayed into the entire spectrum, not leaving any bits of it. And in this journey of mine, I never stopped myself. Like I got into digital health, into innovation in healthcare. When I say innovation, it's healthcare, wellness, pharma, everything put together, because that's the ecosystem. So
Yeah.
basically, this was my journey. And I have had stints in the corporate world quite a bit. The last stint and the current one also is pretty much on a very, what you say, a level where I'm contributing to the industry, to the people indirectly, obviously, because I'm not a frontliner, but I do the back end work where the frontliners can actually provide those services. So, my journey never ended in terms of education and just went on like that. But in a nutshell, that's me.
All right. It's wonderful to know that, because as the people who are not really connected with the health industry like you are, we tend to say, okay, here's a big hospital, everything is moving properly and all that. But it's a complete industry. And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, which we don't really know about. So you've been talking about, digital health and all this innovation and stuff like that. I'd love for you to touch a bit more about that, because it's the what we call as a layperson the in thing. And it's a expanding platform, and
Yeah.
I think it's a very vital platform. So just give our listeners a bit of an idea about what you do in that sphere and how it's helping us, the end user.
Very much. So you picked it up right, Sandy, because a lot goes behind and it
Yes.
starts from planning. The basics of anything is planning, and that's where I currently step into. I do strategic planning, which means what does a business in healthcare industry want, how lucrative it is, and what can be improved to actually bring in the services value offerings to the people. When I say people, it's the across the spectrum population. And it's about what does the population demographics want, what does a stakeholder as an operator, as an owner want, and how do we give this to the people. Gone are those days when you had just hospitals. Now it's hospital at home or wellness at home. So that is where digital comes in picture, where innovation comes in picture. Centrally, you have your core services, and we plug it in through planning and strategy and roll it out with actually digital health. You have your simple apps to chatbots and to great things like wearables and touch screens, and you see the entire forum, including robotic surgery and so on. But I wouldn't go into that level where it's a very technical part. So planning, strategy, and connecting this and bringing it out to the people where you do not have to step out of your comfort zone, your home. And innovation is that. Innovation happens across, and it can be even a simple pill reminder, actually, to even having your vitals checked and your provider giving you messages and calling you saying, look, you're all right, you're fine. And how can you take it forward from there, like proactive healthcare management, which is wellness. So this is the loop or the connection. I'm just giving it in a nutshell. I don't want to confuse the audience. So just
Right.
keeping it to a very small loop out there.
Yeah. So when we come to this, did you have to study for this to qualify for this? Get some kind of more knowledge or certification? Because I know it's a complex field and you do require expertise. So, number one, what made you go down this path? And number two, what kind of study did you have to do in order to be able to do the job that you do now?
Yeah. So basically, your post graduation doesn't help you to come across the spectrum.
Okay.
You need to choose what is that extra in knowledge that you need. So I was knowledge hungry, to be honest. And that knowledge hunger led to me searching, researching more and more about what is it that I don't know and what is out there which I should be knowing, like a certification. I went into a lot in terms of understanding health strategy separately, digital health separately. I have taken certifications to know what is digital health to start off with. And then I
Okay.
also brought in an element, which is okay, I get it about all these things, but how do I implement it? That is most important. So, all these, yes, I went individually and took certifications on these strategy certifications, digital health certifications from various universities, not just
Okay.
one. And this I picked and literally after my real research. And then that is what helped me. But again, it's not plug and play. You really have to adapt all those principles into your portfolio and try to actually make it bespoke. Again,
Yes.
it's not just, I learned it, okay, here is it, I'm going to give it to you. No, it has to be bespoke. That's where my role comes in the industry, where I plan it and give it out to my stakeholders. Now, the question actually, I'm answering the second question first, and the first
Yes.
question I'm going to answer now, which is
Okay.
what made me get into all
Yes.
this. That is a very interesting story. So, do you want me to start the story? How I came into?
I think it's an important story because you just didn't stumble upon it.
No.
There was a purpose to it, right?
Yes, yes. The whole reason I'm in healthcare today is because of my personal journey. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So, Sandy, as much as I look like a thorough professional, yes, I am. But the reason why I became a healthcare professional is because I faced something in my life right when I was born, and that was probably it was right from my womb, from my mom's womb, maybe. So I was born with a congenital heart disease, and in fact, it was like 1 in 100,000 at that point in time. I'm
Oh,
talking about
wow.
4 decades ago. And I had very abnormal heart where, usually human beings have four chambers. I only had three. And we
Oh,
have major blood vessels, two major blood, or they're called greater vessels. That was transposition, means it was opposite. And the blood flow was opposite. Where it would be normal, it was opposite. I had pure, impure blood mixing. So my lungs were literally gone for a toss. My heart was almost close to cardiac failure when I was born. So imagine this is 40, 45 years back, and medical science was not this evolved.
yes.
I was diagnosed when I was 3 months old, but in India, I lived in India at that time, and there was no medical science. We flew all the way to Australia when I was 9 months old for my first surgery. And the doctors there said, not sure if we can help you, but we can try something. And they did my first surgery and they sent us back to India. And my mom and dad, I must thank them for, I mean, I exist because of them. They were so patiently waiting, following up on doctors in different parts of the world, not just India. We consulted with hot doctors in Australia, in Canada, to make sure that I get the treatment, whatever it is, didn't matter to them. And when I was 15 years old, the same doctor called us back from Australia and said, something, there's a new modified surgery. Why don't we try? And I flew to Australia at that time. 15 years, imagine a teen. And a teen at 15 is like life is beautiful and everything. And here I am actually literally biting my nails off that I'm having a surgery. I don't know if I'm going to come back or not. I don't know in what condition I'm going to come back, because these were things very openly told to me. And
Yes.
I knew this right from the beginning when I was a child. My parents actually did that very good thing of educating me that this is you. That doesn't mean you stop your life, but accept it. Because the more you accept it, it means that you can face life, you can face these with a better outlook. In fact, challenges were many. In fact, I couldn't play the way children used to play of my age. I couldn't do extracurricular activities. I loved tennis because that was something I adored. I could never lift a racket and do it. I loved dancing, but there was a limit to which I could do. So the challenges were so high, but the second surgery changed my life, Sandy. When I saw doctors, how they brought me back to life, I was like, this is it. This is my calling. And I have to get into this somehow. Well, being a doctor was not easy, to be very honest. I did try. But then for some reason, maybe destiny, I couldn't make it, but I didn't give up. I'm like, no, I'm getting into healthcare industry. I'm getting into that stream where, saving lives or being part of saving lives helps. And that's how I got into this, Sandy. And here I am, supporting the world in some form or the other.
Yes. But you know something, Devi, if you don't mind, would you be able to share some of the challenges and frustrations you faced as a teenager?
Yeah.
Not being able to, as you said, you love to do certain things, but it just wouldn't happen. And
Yeah.
you, I think that made you a very mature person because, first of all, your parents were always. They always communicated with you very as a grown up, like this is going to happen, this will happen, this is it. So you grew up, I think you matured, mentally matured much at a much
Earlier.
younger age
Yes.
than others, while
Yes.
others were enjoying themselves and being babies and this and that. You were quite mature because of the things that you were experiencing. So when you came into your teenage years and you saw other kids doing a lot of different things that you were not able to do, was that frustrating? Did you feel angry, or you just took it in your stride and said, you know what, I'll just channel my attention and energy somewhere else?
Yeah, the first response to all this for any teen or anybody, and let me talk as a teen, was sadness, anger. And that combined became a frustration, of course. It was like, look at them. They just going out, hanging around. No, I couldn't, especially after my surgery, second surgery when I was 15. I was restricted in terms of movement. I was restricted in terms of going into a crowd because chances of infection were very high. And that would reach my heart and, that would be the end of me. And all this would go wasted, whatever I went through and the surgery. So restriction there. I cannot hang out after with friends in college. I cannot hang out after 3 because my body used to get tired and
Mm.
water intake was very very restricted. I used to go dehydrated. So obviously you get tired. And this was building up, Sandy, not just the restriction physically, but mentally it was like, I cannot relate, I cannot go out. But then I thought, no, I have many other things which is good in me, or rather I can build my life in such a way that it will compensate my physical inability in terms of being like my peer group. And that part is when I actually decided, okay, let me start journaling. And through journaling I took out all my frustration, and honestly even to this day it helps me. And that was the beginning. Now when I
Okay.
started doing that, it's like thought process one after the other started coming into me. And okay, I can do this, I cannot do this, so what's the balance? So that helped me. And I think from 17 years onwards, yeah, I started having this I would say a vengeance in me, but not showing it out that way, that determination. I will be one among all of you in terms of success in life. And be successful in life became my mantra. It was like, my aim in life, I have to be successful in whatever I do, life, profession. And that's exactly the reason I went into studies big time. I was an average student, but the moment that determination came into me, nothing could stop me. Nothing could stop me. And
Wonderful.
it was a great journey for me. That
And very,
frustration.
it's very inspiring just listening to you. So I think you went down the route of like, okay, I'm going to have the most normal life that I can. Okay, and so did you think about marriage and children and all of that?
Yes, just like any other girl, I did. So I come from a very big family, I had so many cousin sisters. So I've seen them being married off and happily settled with children. So obviously, I had that dream, and but somewhere down the line, when I was in my 20s, I started working. At that time, it was more of profession that got into me. Like I said, success was in my head. But then I decided, no, there has to be a balance. Profession is not everything. There has to be a balance. And that balance, I definitely wanted to be having a family of my own, have, children. But little did I realize that this heart condition has a lot of restrictions in having children, to be very
Yes.
honest. Because anybody who knows me knows very well the heartbreaks I've had when doctors have told me that you cannot have children, you should not have children. That is very determinal for you. So even then, I got married when I was 26, and I did have a good initial years of life, but destiny hit me again, Sandy, that I had to undergo again surgeries post my marriage. And this kind of was like where I literally had my reproductive organ removed. There ended my happiness of, or even dream of thinking of having a child, even if I was ready to take all the risk. So it kind of brought my spirits down. But then again, I never stopped there. I was like, no, I will have a child and I will make sure that I am a mother. Because I've seen my mom, and I've seen the way she brought me up, the confidence. And I wanted to, kind of pass that energy to my child. Boy, girl, didn't matter, to my child. And my daughter came into my life after that. She's not my biological child, but still, she's mine. And today, when I look at her, she's me, like a reflection of me, a mirror, exact carbon copy of me. So, yes, my dreams did come true. I never let it go. I never let it go, and I will not, if, no matter what comes my way.
Yes. Actually, you know what? You remind me of a river.
Oh,
Because, yeah, I'll tell you why. Because the river will always flow.
okay.
No matter how many restrictions, boulders, stuff on the way, whatever it is, but the river will always find its way.
Way out,
Because
yes.
there is a power
Yeah.
in that. and that just moves it forward. And there's no stopping it. It will always continue to flow. It will always find a way to flow. So you are very much like that because it didn't
I take
matter.
it as a compliment completely. Thank
Of
you.
course, absolutely. Nothing stopped you because I think sometimes what happens is when you're born normal and everything is working
It's
fine,
fine.
right?
Yes.
We don't realize what could happen if something like your
Untoward.
case would
Yes.
happen, right?
Yes.
So we take everything for granted and we live our life like that. And then there comes along a person like you who doesn't have certain things working fine. And
That's
then
what.
you start appreciating what you have much more,
Hmm.
right? So there's gratitude, there's love, there's saying that so what if I don't have this? I have this and this, and I'm going to make the best of this. So in fact, some people may say, oh, poor thing, this, she
Yes.
can't do this. There are a lot of those people who go around talking like that, and you I'm sure must be saying to them, poor thing,
Ah,
there's no
yes.
such thing.
I
So
did hear a lot, and my answer
doing
was,
what I want, right?
yes. I've
So
heard a
having
lot.
having a teenage daughter, so there you have a very high pressure job,
Yeah.
and also that thing that says you need to be relevant, you need to be ahead of the game, because it's technology, it's innovation, and because of that everything is happening at a very fast pace. So that's
Right.
one part of you. And then there's this teenage girl at home. Okay,
Yes.
so what's the relationship like between mama and daughter?
Okay. So, like any mom and teen daughter, we are at each other's neck. That is there. But she is my best team. She's my best critic too, actually. And she's a fashionista already, so she keeps telling me, oh, this doesn't suit you, that doesn't suit you. But on the flip sides and on bad days, you all have bad days at work or personally, because she's seen me. Even today I have a lot of health issues. My smiling face is one, but there are days when it doesn't go well. She is the person who gives me that chill pill. She tells me, Mama, that's fine, you just rest. I'll do everything for you. Although she's too young for certain things, but she does it for me. Yeah, it's challenging to bring up a daughter. I'm a single mother now, and it's challenging to bring up a daughter all on your own. But I think I have found the best companion. At this point in time, I could say she understands me, even the fact that even from my breath, if it was a sigh, she gets it. And she understands, okay, mom's not fine. I should not go near her, or she's absolutely okay. Today is our day for, going out and chilling. So our relationship is turning more and more into a friend and mother needed, yes, of course, but it's turning more and more into a friendly and a very bond, the same one I have with my mom. And recently she told me, I like this guy, I have a crush on this boy. And that's when I realized, okay, I've done something good. I've done something right. That she shares, at least she shares. There are a lot of children who don't. So we are
Yes.
a team, Sandy. Actually, we are a team, and the good part is that when I first told my daughter that I'm not your by birth mother, she's like, okay, big deal. And that was like, okay, I mean, this is it, lifetime for she and me, definitely. We're like this close, and we always have those pinky promises and everything, even today, although she's a teen. But my lifeline is her, and I don't know. I can't live without her. I cannot even think of being one day without her. So that is how we are.
So, considering the fact that you have this wonderful, open, frank, very loving, supporting relationship with your daughter, who is this, teenager now, uh,
Yeah.
what advice would you give moms in the same situation or like with teenage kids?
Hmm.
What advice would you give them to have a more harmonious and relationship and more open relationship where the kids can come and say, listen, I don't like this, so I'm having the difficulty in this, or why do I need to do this, or have a crush on so and so. From your perspective, what advice would you give moms in that age group?
Number one, never compare them with our generation because we are from a little, very mature generation. And they, I'm not saying they are not, but they are very advanced. They are 10 levels advanced than what we were at that age. So don't compare, you know, there's no need to compare. It's not going to work. Second thing, let it flow and have open conversations because I've had open conversations with my daughter when she turned 13. I told her that there are things about how people are intimate and so on. I don't want her to get the wrong information, so be open. But you need to draw a line. Friends, true, mothers can be friends, but mothers should not be only friends. You've got
Yes.
to have that line, which I draw. When I give her that dagger look, she gets it. So I'm not saying give a dagger look, no. What I'm saying is that no, do not snub them and do not hide things from them. Something
Yes.
happens in the family, make them a part of it. Because this is a stage where they feel they're adults already. When they're not, they're still stepping up. So
Yes.
be a confidant, but not to the level where, you're too open that they think, oh, this is my mom, it's okay. Or this is my parent, it's fine. No, be very open but have that balance or equation. This is what
Yes.
I've done. I hope I've done something right. So this
Well,
is my,
so far, it
so
seems to
far
be
it
working.
worked. Yeah, so far it did and it is.
Yeah. The other thing I would like to ask you is like, because you do have a high pressure job, you spend a lot of time, you're mentally very busy, right?
Yes,
Because even if you're away from the work scenario, you're still mentally very busy, right?
right,
And
yes.
that does take a toll on your energy levels, etc. So, how do you balance that work-life balance to ensure that you remain in good health?
Well, it's very important for anyone, and for me, it's extremely important to keep my health at check all the time. 6:30, I leave my office. I do not take work home until and unless it's like a very dire situation where we have something really important. I don't even take my laptop home. I keep it in
Oh,
the office. I don't bring it home, and this is something I started right from COVID days because there was no line between profession
okay.
and personal life. So shutting down my laptop and not taking it home is one thing I started working on. It helps. And second thing is I do take breaks. Like twice a year, I do take breaks. And I do not open my laptop. Neither do I reply to my emails. And on weekends, I get bombarded sometimes with mails or sometimes with calls and so on. But after that, Sandy, I make it a point that I kind of de-stress myself. My biggest de-stress is I journal, like I said.
Okay.
I throw it out because one thing people don't realize is pressure hits you mentally and physically, and
Yes.
that is not a there is something called BMI, we say body mass index, but BMI to me is not just that, it is body, mind, and intellect. And
Yes.
you've got to actually keep balance. If not, you will be in a trance and you won't be able to unplug yourself. So I do make sure that I journal, I write, I sketch. These are my hobbies, in fact. So
Okay.
those hobbies relax me. My hormones become normal, and then what I'm not a person who meditates too much. Everybody advises me though, because the minute I sit to meditate, I go somewhere else, and it doesn't happen.
Same with me. It
So
becomes too challenging.
instead I plug on music and I just walk. That may help me. In Middle East, it's not easy to walk, but at least I just let it go. And another thing is I talk to my dear and near. And this is one thing I learned, and I would advise it to everyone that never shut yourself off because that is how stress builds. That is how
Yes.
depression starts. And why I'm saying this is, Sandy, because I did a course in psychotherapy. And the reason I did that is because I realized COVID took a huge toll on me because of the lockdown and a lot of things. And I thought, no, this is not the way to live life. I mean, if I'm going to go into that, it's not going to help. And that is when I realized the body, mind, and intellect balance. So this is how I de-stress. I'm not saying this is the best way to de-stress or this is the best recipe or anything. To me, this works. And when you do all of this in the right proportion, which may not be possible all the time, you get all your hormones back, all your happy hormones back. And those hormones are needed for you. Even a
Yeah.
simple hug from your dear and near helps.
Yes.
Brainless talks with your. I do that with my childhood friends. We are even close. So today,
Okay.
so we do brainless talks, and once I'm out of it, okay, I feel like okay, I can breathe now. So this is
Yeah.
my de-stress. It's very simple, nothing great, but it helps me.
Yeah, I think everybody these days is being led by the nose. Like, you must do this, you must do
Yes.
this course, you must attend these lectures, you must attend these sessions, and a lot of people just blindly go there in the hope, or sometimes they're quite delusional as well, because they keep imagining that they that they are sort of improving or getting better or whatever, but it never happens, and then they're off to the next course, and then
Yes.
they're trying something
Nothing
else.
else.
Yeah, so I think that one of the things is, nobody is very practical these days. They're all the time thinking about some esoteric thing, that I will
Mm.
become like this, and then I'll go here, and I'll be in this sphere and that sphere, which is not really what happens.
Mm. It's
Yeah,
not
so
reality.
yeah, so I think the being the practical things like you mentioned does really help. So the my next question is, how careful are you about your diet?
Oh, very, very careful. So I have restrictions in terms of body weight as well. I should not exceed 60 kg because of my heart condition, because each gram I put on, it's a load on my heart.
Okay,
So no matter what I have to make sure it's something that's within my weight that's allowed, because I cannot work out. Intense workout is a no for me. I
okay,
love gyms or whatever to look from a distance, but I cannot go. The maximum I can do is walk and yoga. So my intake of food is small portions. I don't do big portions of food. I avoid oily food completely. It's not because I'm the following a diet person and this and that, but why fall in trouble? You know, cholesterol and so on should not be attached to my my body already, because then that means more medicines. I'm on medicines for lifelong, in fact. So I don't want to add more medicines. This is more than enough. So no oily food, then no rich food, no high content sugar. These things I avoid, and I also look at the part that there are genetic diseases that inherit with free of cost, and one such is diabetes, hypertension, and all this runs in my family. So I'm trying my best to delay all of those. It will apparently happen, but I'm trying my best to delay all that. So food intake, very small portions, Sandy, and people laugh at me at times. Oh, you eat like a bird. So I'm like, I'm fine. It's okay. It's working well for me.
okay. You just tell them, yes, of course I eat like a bird because I can fly.
Yeah, I'll use that next time. So this is how I am. I make sure that I have protein, yes, because
Okay,
energy,
so
carbs and proteins I do make sure. Balanced, I think I'm okay. I don't do too much of, what do you call it? I don't measure. No. Measure or measuring my
I
food
think,
is
I think over the years you have pretty much mastered the amounts that you should be
how
eating. And
to.
I think the other thing, from what I am hearing, is that you're very much in tune with your body.
Yes, I am. That was something which was taught to me by my cardiologist and my team of doctors who did my surgery, cardiac surgeons as well. And they told me, actually, this is your body and this is what you should expect. and you will not see the way others are when you grow up. And they also have had told me, how do you know that your heart is going out of control? How do you listen to your body? And they taught me how to. So if I get a palpitation or a very fast beats for more than an hour, I know I should seek medical help. So I am, like you said, attuned completely to know what my body says, and I stop there because there are instances that has happened to me while I was in the corporate world in couple of, say, 5-7 years back, that I've crossed the limits and I have been hospitalized. Each time I've come back, my cardiologist has given me, a earful telling me, no, you can't do this, be careful. Because one thing is this, Andy, I know my quality of life will go down with age.
Yes.
That is something I know. I've accepted it, not with any agony or sadness, but this is it. This is the reality, truth. And,
Yes, I
so
think the acceptance part is very important, because then you're very pragmatic in your approach, because okay, this is possible, this is not possible. I am not going to be this heroine or this
yeah.
individual who is going to cross the limit and do this and do that, because that's stupidity.
Yeah, I mean, that is a
And
work.
a lot of people these days know, because of whatever reasons, they shouldn't be doing A, B, C, X, Y, Z. They shouldn't be doing this, but they still do it. So it's like a death wish. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to abuse my body. I'm going to abuse, this machine that's keeping me going. I'm not going
Hmm.
to do any maintenance. I'm not going to do any checkups. And I'm just going to uh, imagine that I'm going to be in the best health even when I'm old. And that, I think, is a very wrong way of looking at
It
things. And
is.
it's a wake up call for all of us.
It is. It is very wrong. And your body and my body, even if we are the same age, it's not going to be the same. It's completely different. I can withstand pain. My threshold to pain is very high. But I've seen people who with a small prick and they start having panic attacks because of that. So, like you said, one size doesn't fit all, for sure.
That's
It
true.
doesn't
That's
fit.
true. Okay, so tell me, Devi, you're in a nice place in your life right now. You've got a wonderful job. You enjoy your work. You've got this lovely teen daughter who's now more like a friend, and you're in a good place. So, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Are you thinking of studying some more, getting some more certifications? What exactly do you have in mind?
Yeah. So, right from I was 25, I think, my aim was to get a PhD, and
Okay.
I'm gearing up for it. I'm not saying I've enrolled for it already, but I'm kind of sourcing, or rather thinking about exploring the topic which I want to focus on. And that Dr. Devi Nair sounds amazing, and I'm going to do it. So definitely that is in the long run. And my aim is when I by 50, I will have that. And in between, I'm pursuing another certification in healthcare analytics. So that is because, like I said, digital health data is the backbone of anything. And if I have a lot of data, I can't do anything with it if I don't know how to process it. And I
Yes.
need to know analytics. When I did my master's 23 years back, there was no analytics in picture. Forget analytics, there was not even Google for us to search topics, in fact. So analytics is something I know, but I'm not a master. So I'm kind of pursuing a course in healthcare analytics. um, and PhD is what that is going to be. It's a tough journey. I know that it's not going to be easy, but definitely happening. I did my foundation in psychotherapy. I'm going to continue my diploma now. That would be next year, not this year, because I'll finish my analytics and then I'll get into psychotherapy and then into my PhD. So this is my plan as of now, but I'm very unpredictable when it comes to learning new subjects. I quickly just grab something if I see that's lucrative. So I don't know what will come in between, but these three are going to stay, and
Well,
I will
that's
finish it.
That's wonderful to know that you've got it all planned out, and you have a sort of a date, or in terms of your age, where you have promised yourself that this is what you will do. So maybe we want to wrap up now. So I just wanted some concluding thoughts from you. First of
Hmm.
all, to women out there who are still undecided. And so we're
Hmm.
not talking about age. We're just talking about
Yeah.
women who want to do something. For example, you're saying that by age 50, I would get my PhD. That we also know that there are a lot of women when they reach the age of 50, it's like, I can't do anything in my life. I'm too
Yes.
old to learn. This is not possible for me. The time and the opportunity has gone. So when you have people who think like that, what would you say to them, the women?
See, one thing that I was, taught is that be independent. And I never gave up that thought at all, even today. So, first thing, irrelevant, and women be independent. That is one thing. Because it's not about flying out, it's about standing on your own feet. And if you are to stand on your own feet, you should have a purpose. You can't just stand like that and say, okay, now what do I do? No. You've got to have a purpose in life. It could be your children, it could be your profession, or it could be your passion, which can turn into something meaningful. But that meaning or that purpose is very important. And once you see that in front of you, you would know the kind of resources that you can use. And there are a lot of women who actually have come across who say that, I don't know how to go forward, I don't know what to do, there's nothing in front of me. Of course there is a lot of things in front of you. No, age is not at all a number. I say 50 for certain reasons, but age is not at all a number. Just look out and never shy away from what your mind tells you. That thing everybody say, gut feeling tells me. Yes, your gut feeling tells you something, that is absolutely going to lead you. And don't give up on life. Life is worth more than just sitting sulking. I could have done that many many years back. So never do that. And life just doesn't stop anywhere. It doesn't stop, it just goes on. So move forward. Like you said, you told me that I'm like a river. So be
Yes,
one. You be one as well. Anybody can be. It's not that I've done wonders and I've become something great. I'm sure there are women like me, or who've done better than me in life and who have had worse situations. So move forward, never stop where you are. My mom is in her late 60s, and I look at her even today. I take inspiration from her even today, and that keeps me going because she doesn't stop at all. So focus going forward. And one more thing, never forget the fact to love your body, love your
yes,
mind. If you don't do that, loving your body and your mind, you cannot possibly give it back to somebody or look at life in a positive way. Because I truly believe up here, if you are sorted, this is also sorted. So
very true, very true.
go
That
on.
was
It
thank
is
you so much,
simple.
Devi. Yeah, so thank you so much, darling, for sharing all those lovely thoughts with us. And on behalf of Celestia and everybody who's watching, we wish you all the best.
Thank
And
you.
we hope you get that degree as soon as possible.
I'll keep
And
you posted.
we come back and celebrate together. Thank you very much, love.
Definitely. Thank you
All
very
right.
much. See you. Thank you.
Absolutely, my dear.
Bye.
Absolutely. So there you have it, Devi Nair, this phenomenal individual where nothing has stopped her from achieving her goals, nothing has stopped her from her studies, being a mom, enjoying life as much as possible, and being happy and healthy. So, what I've learned from Devi today is this: she's very persistent, but she has a purpose, because without the purpose, persistency is nothing, right? So there's purpose, there's persistency, and there could be a lot of perspiration because you have to work very hard, right? But she does all of that, and she does it with the most important P. She does it with passion. That is what makes her who she is today. And I hope you remember the BMI. Okay, so for those of you who have been watching or who are going to watch later, in the comment section, if you hear what Devi said, let me know what is BMI according to Devi. So it's lovely to be with you, but the time's running out, and so we have to say goodbye. But do remember, watch us on YouTube. We appreciate you. So please appreciate us by liking, by commenting, and by subscribing. And we'll see you again next week. From all of us, bye bye.
Okay.